Speaking of being stopped today, Alina Habba is looking at potentially maybe not having her seat anymore. She is the U.S. attorney in New Jersey. Ameer, Mike Davis, Article 3 Project, now filing a House ethics complaint against House Democrat leader Hakeem Jeffries. And this is because he says that he is inserting himself now in Habba's situation. He says it's clear corruption. He's improperly inserting himself into a criminal proceeding. He's trying to strong-arm, the allegation says, these judges to kick her out if they decide today. She could stay on through the Trump presidency. And the interesting thing about this, it kind of all started when Congresswoman LaMonica McIver of New Jersey went to the detention facility. She was charged. Hakeem Jeffries wasn't happy about that. He said that so-called U.S. Attorney General Habba is an unqualified political hack. But McIver is now facing trial. What do you make of this potential ethics complaint here by the Article 3 Project and how serious it is for Hakeem Jeffries here?
Well, they should take it seriously. I mean, the legislature should stay out of this. This is simply between the executive branch and the judiciary. I mean, the executive right here, Pam Bondi, could appoint this provisional U.S. attorney in Alina Habba. And once her 120 days expires, then it's up to this panel of judges in the district court to decide whether to keep her on or to replace her with somebody else. There's no role for Hakeem Jeffries here. For him to involve himself would be just wrong. It would be a sort of a separation of powers issue, and we should just let the statute play out the way it's supposed to play out. But I'm not surprised that they're trying to do it. It's very similar to the first segment where you have the federal government trying to take onto itself certain powers that it doesn't have. Just like with the school boards, they tried to take something that is a state and a local issue and they try to federalize it. This is a real problem. And we have to curb it. I mean, it's a violation of the 10th Amendment when we're talking about the school boards, but here we're talking about a separation of powers.
Right, and because there was a president who is turning a blind eye to all of this, obviously. And let's get to Biden and the auto pen. We know that a lot of the aides who have already come in and his doctor have pled the fifth, Annie Tomasini, the most recent one, subpoenaed to testify. But there is a lot of folks still coming in. You have Ron Klain, Steve Ricchetti, Bruce Reed, Anita Dunn. This is going to be really, really interesting as we see if they plead the fifth. It's all because the House Oversight Committee is looking at his mental decline, and the list goes on. Ian Sams, Andrew Bates, KJP, and Jeff Zients. I think at some point, if they all plead the fifth, Christina, does Comer offer one of them immunity to then kind of turn on one to say, yes, this is what we knew about the auto pen, this is what was happening, the criminal liability? Why would they not just plead the fifth?
Yeah, probably. I hate how much I'm loving this story. I was one of President Trump's attorneys that got involved in all of the lawfare aimed at him, and I've been hauled before Congress to testify myself. I got sucked into the Jack Smith investigations and have invoked my Fifth Amendment right. So it goes without saying, the Fifth Amendment protects the innocent as well as the guilty in this case as well. The difference in this case is from what happened in my case is I had already testified before Congress. Before I testified at a grand jury, I had been interrogated by the Department of Justice and FBI, and there was nothing left. There's nothing that they didn't have of mine. Here, that's not happening. It's very interesting to me that they're going straight to the Fifth Amendment. And in order to evoke your Fifth Amendment rights, there has to be some semblance, some possibility that you could be guilty of a crime. I'm not saying they are, but what crime do they think they're guilty of? Or are they just doing it because they don't want to testify? So yeah, I definitely think there are some tools in Comer's bag to try to make this happen, and probably some people may get immunity. I assume probably not all of them are guilty of crimes, but I hate how much I'm enjoying watching this.
Yeah, well, you were at the center of all of it. You were at Mar-a-Lago the day it was raided. Many people may or may not remember that. So you've been through a lot of things with the president there, Christina. I just have about 30 seconds, but I do want to get your take on the lawsuit that is now officially filed, Ameer. President Trump filing this lawsuit, $10 million against Wall Street Journal, Rupert Murdoch. It happened on Friday, this after they published a letter that President Trump says is fake. Your reaction?